President Donald Trump on Sunday urged Democrats to stop resisting and fix immigration laws after he had advised House Republicans to stop wasting their time on legislation until after the election, when a larger GOP majority would be in office. "Strong borders, no crime," Trump wrote on Twitter on Sunday morning. But that message contradicts one he sent on Friday after Republicans delayed an immigration vote when he advised the GOP to give up on passing legislation until after November. "Republicans should stop wasting their time on immigration until after we elect more senators and congressmen women in November," the president tweeted. "Dems are just playing games, have no intention of doing anything to solve this decades-old problem. We can pass great legislation after the red wave pollsters are split on which party will be the big winner on election day." The president's latest message comes as the immigration crisis grows worse and worse for his party and his administration. The executive order Trump signed on Wednesday that would reunite migrant children with the parents has only raised questions on how the children, several of whom have been moved away from the border into shelters throughout the United States, will be found and matched with their families. Share this article. Share. We know where every single child is, Republican Sen. James Lankford said on Meet the Presses on Sunday. "This is an issue that's gone out there somewhat in some of the other media that's not been responsible with this, that with the assumption that the administration lost track of that. So let me clarify a couple things. These are career professionals that work with HHS and that work with DHS and Customs and Border Patrol and ICE. These are not political appointees. These are career folks. They know where every child is to be able to connect them to their parent or their relative that came." Additionally, trip by Melania Trump to the border became a public relations nightmare after she was seen wearing a "I really don't care. Do you?" jacket as first revealed by the DailyMail.com that sparked an online outrage and questions about who the message was directed to. The First Lady's spokesperson claimed it was just a jacket, while the president said his wife was referring to the fake news media. Meanwhile, House Republicans were set to vote on two major immigration bills on Thursday. The first bill, a more conservative measure favored by the right, failed when enough Republicans didn't give it their okay. The president is growing increasingly frustrated with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the person said Friday, as the man with his finger on the nuclear option button refuses to push it. Trump wants McConnell to abolish the filibuster rule, which allows any senator to insist on time-consuming debates and a 60-vote threshold before a bill can be brought to the floor. Republicans hold only 51 of the 100 seats, a large enough majority to pass legislation, but insufficient to actually force a vote. Even if we get 100% Republican votes in the Senate, we need 10 Democrat votes to get a much-needed immigration bill, and the Dems are obstructionists who won't give votes for political reasons and because they don't care about crime coming from border. Trump boomed on Twitter. "So we need to elect more Republicans in November and we will pass the finest, fairest and most comprehensive immigration bills anywhere in the world. Right now we have the dumbest and the worst. Dems are doing nothing but obstructing. Remember their motto, resist. Ours is produce," Trump wrote in another tweet. Making use the bully pulpit, Trump said at a cabinet meeting on Thursday that his administration is working swiftly to address the illegal immigration crisis on the southern border and close loopholes in our immigration laws supported by extremists, open-border Democrats. "That's what they are," the president asserted. "They're extremists, open-border Democrats. If you look at Nancy Pelosi and you look at Chuck Schumer, you'll see tape where they wanted to have borders, they needed borders for security. The president added, "People are suffering because of the Democrats. So we've created, and they've created, and they let it happen, a massive child smuggling industry." It's exactly what it's become. Traffickers, if you think about this, human traffickers are making a fortune. It's a disgrace. These loopholes force the release of alien families and minors into the country when they illegally cross the border. Trump said that Democrats are being told by Schumer and Pelosi not to help Republicans with illegal immigration because they want to pick up seats in the midterm elections. They don't care about the children, they don't care about the injury, they don't care about the problems, they don't care about anything. All they do is they obstruct because they have no policies that are any good. He charged. They're not good politicians. They got nothing going. All they're good at is obstructing, and they generally stick together. Meanwhile, Republican House aides are reportedly working on the bill's language this weekend, likely in an effort to garner more votes. The House GOP compromise bill is the product of hard-fought negotiations between the conservative and moderate factions that have dragged on for several weeks. The measure is unlikely to pick up much, if any, Democratic support. The nearly 300-page compromise measure creates a pathway to citizenship for the young immigrants known as Dreamers who have been living in the U.S. illegally since childhood. It provides $25 billion Trump wants for his promised border wall from Mexico. And it revises the long-standing preference for family visas in favor of a merit system based on education level and work skills.